Chapter 12. Values and Beliefs, the glue in your story. It shall be done unto you as you believe. Values and beliefs are symptoms of your identity. Every human being, regardless of age, culture, education, religion, or social status, live by a set of priorities or values, from the most important to the least important in their lives, as they evolve daily. These priorities are individual and environmentally specific at any moment in time. Everyone has things that are really important and things that are not, and that hierarchy of values, that set of priorities, dictates how we perceive what's around us and how we act. Perceptions, decisions, and actions. Our real selves respond to our values. Knowing our hierarchy of values and keeping them up to date consistently can become a real strength in our lives. Most people make assumptions about what they value. For example, most people would agree that they would like to have enough money to live a comfortable, stress-free life. However, statistics show that only a small percentage of the population will ever achieve that. So, there seems to be a discrepancy between what people say they want and what they actually achieve. There is a gap between expectation and reality. Why is that? Can it be that we all have influences, traditions, and ideologies in our lives that we bow down to and allow them to cloud our real calling? Do we live a life of what is expected of us, rather than giving ourselves permission to shine? We can become confused about what we want when we conform to our surroundings, instead of expressing our unique selves. When asked what our values are, our answers are often at odds with the life we are living. So let's take a closer look at values. Make a list of the things that are most important in your life, the things you say you value, and number them as 1, your highest value or most important, to your lowest value or least important. This list is for your eyes only. So don't write down values that you feel you ought to have high on your list. For example, you may feel you ought to have family at number 1, when actually you know that some other part of your life or work really belongs there. Beside each value, make a note of what emotion is behind that value. This is important. So, what does it mean? A high value on your list might be security. However, the emotion that is driving that could be fear. For example, fear of not being able to meet your home or living expenses. Having a high value based on a negative emotion can be debilitating, and it can cause you to make poor decisions in other areas. Now ask yourself what values are active in your daily life. Are those values high, middle, or low on your value list? Our self-image, which is a combination of self-esteem, or how we value ourselves, our self-worth, which is what you think you are worthy of receiving from others, and our self-confidence. Our opinion of our ability to make good decisions reflects the degree of harmony between our highest values and our actions. If we don't fill up our day with actions that inspire and motivate us, then we'll be distracted into low-value actions that don't. If we don't empower ourselves according to our higher values, we will be distracted by the values of other people. We must be aware of and determined to empower ourselves to work within our unique set of values. If we don't empower ourselves from the inside, we can be overpowered from outside. We must know ourselves and know that what we value has merit in our lives and for our lives. There is power in knowing who you are and why you believe what you believe. What motivates you? What do you want to do that needs no outside motivation? What causes you to be consistent, disciplined, controlled, and focused? These are your highest values. What do you not want to do and only do because of outside forces? What causes you to procrastinate and feel frustrated? These are your lower values. If you don't know what is highest on your value list, and you set a goal matching something lower, then not only are you going to devalue yourself, but you are going to think there is something wrong with you, because you will struggle to stay focused on it. It will frustrate you and you will feel undisciplined when in fact you are attempting to do something that is low on your values list and you are being distracted by something higher. That distraction is actually the real you nudging you to get you back to something that's more important for your life. Do you have a desire to be different and to make a difference? Your uniqueness is only expressed through your hierarchy of values, and that uniqueness is what makes the difference. Fitting in dilutes that potential to make a difference. Trying to please people according to their values robs everyone, including yourself, of your gifts and your own unique expression. Your highest values dictate your destiny. They dictate your interests, your willingness to learn and understand, your self-expression, your insight and unique way of looking at the world through those values. Your identity is intrinsic according to your higher values. We all filter our reality. We associate with and recognize that which is in harmony with our higher values. We will overhear conversations about a subject of interest to us. Our attention will be drawn to a newspaper article, book, or an advert or TV program that is connected in some way to our values. We filter our reality in our sensory awareness to pick out the things that are most in line with our values. Because of how our RAS, our reticular activating system, filters out the things that are of little interest to us, our attention is biased, our memory is biased, and our imagination is biased. Our actions will be at their best when they are focused and guided by those things that are high in our values list. When our lives are spent in the areas of our lower values, or as it may be, other people's values, it causes us to struggle and often experience stress. You will most likely feel unhappy, and sooner or later get to the point of putting your head in your hands and say, there must be more to life than this. Compare your actions to your highest values, not someone else's values. Motivation, or lack of it, is a symptom, not a solution. So, how can we identify our highest values? For each question, give as many answers as you can. 1. What is the primary use of the things you keep closest to you, usually within arm's reach? 2. What are the top things you willingly put your time into? 3. What things do you do that causes your energy to go up? 4. What, outside of the basics for living, do you spend money on consistently? 5. Where are you most organized? 6. Where are you most disciplined and focused? 7. What is your internal conversation about how you would like your life to be that has evidence of coming true? 8. What do you love to talk to people about? 9. What inspires you, excites you, sends tingles up your spine? Is there evidence of that in your life? 10. What 3 of your most consistent goals in your life are showing evidence of coming true? 11. What do you love to read and study most? What do you want to fill your mind with? 12. What will you regret most if you don't attempt to do it? When your values are unclear and confused, your life is directionless and unfulfilled. What causes you to be interested in one thing and not at all interested in something else? It's very hard to be interested in something you are not interested in. Could your interests be your future self calling to you? Beliefs. Our beliefs are based on our perceptions of life, which are based solely on our experiences and knowledge about life. Just because we see something a certain way does not mean that it is that way in reality. Perception and reality are 2 different things. It is only after we acknowledge this that we can really start to understand how to control our beliefs. Learning to have control over our beliefs is probably the most powerful thing we can do to find long-term joy and contentment. For thousands of years, it was a widespread belief that the earth was flat, and that if you were to go to the edge of it, you could fall off. Aristotle was one of the first to dispute this belief and provided actual evidence against it. He stated that by simply traveling south, the constellations of stars would appear higher above the horizon, which would not make sense unless the earth was round. But people did not like this new idea at all. People do not like when their perception of reality is seen to be inaccurate and outdated. We do not like to be wrong. Aristotle had a high value on investigation, and because he pursued it, we all benefited from it. When the amazing light bulb was introduced to the world, people said, "What's wrong with candles? We've gotten along fine with them for hundreds of years. Why change that?" Humans fear the unknown. We like order. We like to feel safe and comfortable. We don't like it when something comes along that threatens to change the way we see the world, even if it is for the better, because we just want to keep things the same. We would rather stay exactly where we are, no matter how difficult things are, then try to see things in a new way, because even though it could make things better for everyone, we fear that it has the chance to make things just a little worse, and decide it is too risky. We run from uncertainty. We don't like to deal with the fact that in reality, few of us really know why we are here or what we are doing. That's why many people don't like to think for themselves and would rather just keep busy in their day-to-day actions. It gives us comfort to just blindly follow the herd. Besides, if everyone else thinks that way, it must be good, right? Think about your beliefs. Where did you get yours? Did you choose all of them yourself? Have you ever examined why you believe them? Most people, who take the time and the fortitude it takes to examine their beliefs, discover just how many of their beliefs have been passed down from others, and not based on their own judgment or values. They realize that so many of the beliefs they hold are self-limiting. They realize that almost all of the problems in their lives are based on perceptions they hold about the world around them, some of which are the equivalent of believing that the earth is flat. It's no wonder so many of us suffer and struggle in our lives. Think about how many beliefs are passed down to us from our families, our friends, our culture, the mass media, and everything around us. How many of us have certain religious beliefs, political affiliations, opinions on the environment, favorite sports teams, views on marriage, views on racism, views on animal rights, fashion, and many more. Just because these were the things that the people around us believed when we were young and didn't know any better, so we just copied them? Did we pick up our values from the same source? Do we think that the beliefs we have chosen are all the right ones, and that all the other ones are wrong? That sounds just a little arrogant. How many of us have then created stories and reasoning around these ideas about why we are right and others are completely wrong, when we haven't even looked at why we believe them ourselves in the first place? Think about this scenario. You are a helpless child. You can't even fend for yourself. Those big people who hang around you start to feed you, clothe you, and make you feel safe. They teach you things, like how to read, how to tie your shoes, and how to have table manners. They give you things and teach you how to do things that make your life better. So, if they were to tell you that you are supposed to support a particular team, or follow a particular religion or political ideology, why would you question them? If they tell you that another race is evil, why wouldn't you believe it? If they were to tell you that you are too loud, too short, too fat, too ugly, too stupid, that you are worthless, and that you will never amount to anything in life, is it possible that you would just accept that and live your life believing it? Beliefs can empower us or cage us in forever. Beliefs are that powerful. Albert Einstein said, "Everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live out its whole life thinking it is stupid." Do you understand the impact your beliefs can have on your life? Do you understand that even though you may not be able to see how or why, they have the ability to transform your life? Everything is based on belief. Everything. A bank will give you a loan based on whether they believe you will pay it back. One coffee franchise charged 3 times more for a cup of coffee because they have great advertising and people believe it is nicer coffee. We pay more for a shirt with a tiny horse or alligator on it because we believe that it is worth the money. A company hires one applicant over another because the chosen applicant did a better job of making them believe that he is best for them. Why are some men, who are broke, out of shape, and abusive, able to date women who are beautiful, inside and out? Because they believe that they deserve awesome women, while some awesome women believe they don't deserve anyone better. How did Thomas Edison invent the ability for humans to see at night? While it took him many failures before he found the right formula, he believed that it was possible to invent a light bulb. Edison had a high value on investigation, and because he pursued it, we all benefit from it. There are many more examples, but I think you can see at this point that our beliefs and values are crucial in our lives. What you believe shapes who you are as a person, and what things come in and out of your life, which affects your overall quality of life. Your beliefs are a tool to serve and empower you, however some of them hold us back. Start thinking about which ones have slipped by your radar undetected for years and are still holding you back right now. Pull out a blank notebook and start writing. Scribble down whatever comes to your mind. It doesn't matter how silly or stupid it sounds, it's just for your eyes. Write down as many as you would like. The further you go with this, the more you can align your life with your true identity. Make a list of around 5 to 10 beliefs you have and figure out where they came from. If they are ones you no longer wish to have, write down new empowering ones to replace them. Of course, this is not an overnight fix, and it will take some time and diligence to overcome feelings of inadequacy that you may have carried with you for years. However, if you make a habit of reading the new beliefs you want to have to yourself every morning, you will begin to really internalize them, and you will be amazed at how much it can change your life. Most evenings after my work, I used to stop at a garage for petrol or perhaps a coffee for my drive home. There was a young man who sat at the doorway into the shop. As I approached the door, he would push a paper cup towards me and ask if I could give him some money. I used to get angry because I felt, wait a minute, I've just been working for hours every day to support my family while you sit on your butt and expect me to give you some of my hard-earned money. Just because you are there? One evening, as I pulled up to the petrol pump, I could see him at the door. I sat looking at him for a few minutes. Suddenly, a thought came into my mind. What if he is doing his best? What effect did that question have on me or my opinion of him? It certainly softened my view of him. However, I asked myself, is him doing his best good enough? What set of values is he working off? Should he just accept his lot in life and continue on his path? Should everyone around him accept that also and support his chosen way of living? Of course, I then had to ask myself the same question. Am I doing the best I can? Do I have more potential? Are my values, beliefs, and expectations of myself at their limit? Should I just be satisfied with what I have and get on with it? I thought, God wants us to be grateful and appreciative for what we have, but He doesn't want us to be satisfied. We have an abundance of gifts and talents on the inside of us. We didn't put them there, and we cannot lose them. We can, of course, choose not to look for them or bring them out into our lives. That's free will and our choice. However, if we don't, we are not doing our best and give up any right to criticize others. Do you think you are doing your best? Really think on this question. Have you settled for where you are because of that? What could you do in order to do better? What if your best is not enough? You can push past your best. With some education, understanding, planning, and insight, we can all do better. Our final regrets are more likely to be of things not done rather than errors we made trying. What is your purpose? Everything made or created, including in nature, has a purpose. Everything is designed to fulfill a specific purpose, even though it may be currently used for something different. What is your vision? Maybe we need to rearrange that to, who is your vision? Even, who are you in your vision? Imagine a piece of software that was perfectly tuned to deliver a powerful and beautiful life for its owner. What if the owner was trained to use it by someone who didn't know how to use it properly? Is it possible that the owner would think, this life thing sucks, nothing works out? What if you knew, somewhere deep down, that there was more inside you, something special, something of real value to you and the world around you? Let me tell you this. There is, and it is only a matter of retraining how to use the software you've been given to bring it out. Values and beliefs are symptoms of your identity. Your identity and your imagination are the same thing. What you imagine you are, and who you imagine you are, is who you are. The amazing thing is, if you change your imagination of who you are, your life on the outside must change to match that. It is simply not possible to consistently live a life that is contrary to your imagination, your image of yourself, your self-image. You cannot travel on the inside and stay still on the outside.